What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, Locks, NBA. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I'm dead inside because Nikola Jokic likes to get ejected in first halves of basketball games. Yeah, I have no feeling in my extremities. It's fine. We're going to do the rest of this show knowing that yeah. Anyway, I have some exciting news coming up a little bit later in the program, so we're going to take advantage of that one at least, because couldn't it take advantage of Jokic completely smashing, going to get a triple-double automatically, a plus 145, and then getting ejected? So don't feel dejected. Don't get ejected. Sign up at Odd Chopper, where we have some amazing new rates coming your way. You're going to want to stay tuned before the last game of the night here. That is for sure. Got some exciting news to break with you live here on, well, not live because you'll be listening to this after the fact, but it'll be live for me when I give it. First time that I'm going to be talking about Odd Chopper and our new pricing structure and new offerings. You're going to get everything, friends. It's going to be awesome. But sign up down below if you want to get a head start on that. We'll talk about BetMGM, our new sponsor here of the lovely program as well. But I'm not in the best of moods here as we're starting because I wanted to cash that ticket and I am upset. And when Eric gets upset, Mr. Bigglesworth, well, I screwed up that bit too. Producer Jacob's on hand. We want to go watch football as well. There's a football game on tonight where it's really good, or theoretically really good. Anywho, Producer Jacob, without further ado, 5 games on the slate for Tuesday. Let's get to the picks. Oh, let's talk a little NBA and things that make you sad and not happy. I don't know, maybe the fact that Dennis Schroeder completely started going ballistic here the last 2, and I only bet him in one of the 2. Yeah, is what it is. Have you guys been paying attention to his assist rate over the last couple? Oh, yeah, they're playing Orlando here, and Orlando's another team that we obviously like quite a bit. But if you watched Dennis Schroeder play basketball over the course of the season, because if you have, you're kind of seeing what I'm seeing, where he's kind of being the starter of this offense in a lot of ways. And Scotty Barnes has continued to ascend. Pascal Siakam is still very, very good at basketball. And Jakob Poeltl, his second stint here in Toronto, going very, very well. But as I look through some of the numbers specifically for our guy, Dennis Schroeder, who's been on the card a lot, only a 50.3% effective field goal percentage and 54.6% true shooting, but a 22% usage and getting things done when it comes to creating for everybody else. And that's going to be the thing that I constantly am pointing to. What is the assist rate compared to other guys on his team? Well, I'll tell you, 34.2%. That is nearly 10% better than that of Scotty Barnes. So when he's starting the offense, it's generally ending in a possession that he's shooting with that usage or the assist rate. Again, 34% leading the team by a wide margin. It's pretty wild to be seeing. I think we just continue to go back to the well. As far as Orlando on the other side, I don't have a whole lot to break down. I mean, we still have this. Jalen Suggs ended up playing basketball. That's something of note from last game. So he'll be back in the starting lineup more than likely. Markelle Fultz is out. Wendell Carter is out. There's situations where they might tweak what we have for some of these starting lineups because, well, they can go big, they can go small. Anthony Black is terrible. Maybe they decide not to do that anymore. But, I mean, Toronto, you're going to need I could see Mo Wagner starting here. I guess that's the one really kind of contrarian piece. I don't think anybody's going to talk about that whatsoever leading into this game. I doubt there's any props to take advantage of there because, I mean, Anthony Black is just doing nothing out there, running wind sprints. He's basically MVS. Marquez Valdes-Scantling. People who know. If you don't know, it is what it is. Now, hopefully, we're talking him into doing something in the second half. But anyway, as it stands, Dennis Schroeder, the line is 20.5. The bet is more, and we like it. Thumbs up. He's been on the card a lot for this specific thing because, again, when you put the assist rate, the points together, I have him at 23.5 almost every single game. We were betting this up to 21.5, and now it's back down. So, like, yay for us. Producer Jacob is very aware that I like Miles Turner a lot. We're going to talk about Miles Turner, and it's weird because I don't think we've talked about Miles Turner. Everybody wants to talk about the breakneck pace, the fact that overs are completely insane. 10-2 for the Indiana Pacers this season, 7-5 against the spread. They're not even a public team here. And Atlanta on the other side, well, 4-8 against the spread. Not a team you probably want to be backing. We were able to successfully back them against, with Orlando. Against Atlanta, it was a whole thing they covered. It was nice. We needed it. But that was a long time ago in Mexico City. This is tomorrow in Atlanta, where the players play, and we ride on them things like every day. These gangsters roll in and parties don't stop. Well, I'm going to be partying Wednesday night. Well, I have to work Thursday morning, but you guys don't care about that. I'm going to have an NFL Lindy's for you just because I care. But Tyrese Halliburton, we just talked about the assist rate for Dennis Schroeder. Would you like to guess? Would you like to just throw out what you think the assist rate is? The number of times that a possession is finishing for the Indiana Pacers with Tyrese Halliburton with successful assists. Like what we're talking about for him on this basketball team, percentage of his team's assists. 47.6. It's dumb. It's John Stockton-esque. It's silliness. Iowa State legend, even though he was like hurt for most of his 1 year. Shout out my alma mater. We love Tyrese Halliburton on this program, but there's a couple of square peg, square hole type situations on this slate. And I think this is the main one for me that's going to remain a lean. I think that there's kind of an interesting one coming up in the Utah-Los Angeles one where you could look at a Lauri Markkanen from three, but I'm actually going to recommend the best bet on this play is plus money that you're getting to go to the prop market and try to back Miles Turner to knock down 2 threes. 2 threes would be awfully nifty, and 2 threes is what I think you're probably going to run into against an Atlanta team where they really allow you to shoot at the mid-range and at the rim. But Miles Turner, he's a center who's going to end up being a stretch. And when you look at 39.2% of three-point attempts on the season, that's still 14th in terms of dispersion amongst shot charts. So you have percentage at the rim, percentage in the mid-range, and then percentage of shots from three-point land. Atlanta pretty much allows anybody to do whatever they want at the rim or the mid-range, and then the three-pointers don't get taken nearly as much as a result. Now, again, it could be noise. We're only 12 games into this season, but it's a pretty large sample size relative to last year's numbers, and this has been pretty successful for them because 2 is less than 3. That's why you're seeing them actually in the top 10 in adjusted net rating for the first time in a long time. They're not allowing nearly as many three-point shot attempts as they had last season, but still 39.2%. That's dead middle of the road. They're 14th in the NBA. And with a stretch 5, like Miles Turner brings to the table, I think you just fire this one up if the number is right. Now, again, does the public go out of their way to go try to bet a 3-point prop? I don't think so. You're probably not going to be able to get all that much money down on something like this unless you're just, I don't want to say bad, but like, it's just one of those you got to be very careful of. So Miles Turner, I'm going to be sensitive to the price, but give me some mid-plus money there in the plus 140, plus 150 range. If it can slide up just a little bit more there towards that range, I will be taking this 1.5 threes against Capella, Okongwu, and company there in Atlanta. Hey friends, how about a new offer with BetMGM? Yes, we had Bet365. We love them very much, but BetMGM is now offering up to $1,500 in bonus bets, and it's called Odd Shopper for a reason. We want you shopping for the best lines day in, day out, taking advantage of BetMGM, of FanDuel, of DraftKings, no matter where it is that you're signed up, having access to the best number on the board. It is so pivotal to being a profitable better long-term, because again, if you could go to the supermarket and, spend $100 on groceries as opposed to $135 on groceries, wouldn't you do that every single time? If you'd rather pay $135, you're probably going to Erewhon or some bullshit. So don't do that. But friends, BetMGM, they're offering up to $1,500 in bonus bets, 2 months of the Discord and 1 month of OS duels. Now, this is going to get tweaked a little bit because of an offer that we have coming up down the pipeline here very, very shortly. So 21 and over, please play responsibly. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But stay tuned. We got a really cool thing coming here later. The Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Philadelphia 76ers here in this one. Andrew Nembhard, well, I guess that's different. Sorry, I had that on the other side of my screen. Here it is. Karis LeVert, that's the guy. Again, I had the one questionable guy written on both sides of things, and I read the wrong one because I forgot to read Andrew Nembhard last game. Here you are. Karis LeVert, of course, kind of matters because he's your ammunition off the bench. You got Darius Garland out there. You're still going to have Donovan Mitchell out for this one. Isaac Okoro out for this one. Ty Jerome, send it in, Jerome. I got to do that every time, even though he doesn't play minutes for this team anyway. And Ricky Rubio. One day he'll return, probably middle of January when it's far too late. And I don't know, it's my dad's favorite player in the NBA, which is really random. Shout out Timberwolves back in the day. But Karis LeVert, questionable, confirmed, matters here to this spread to maybe a half point, full point extent. Mainly because who ends up filling in those minutes? Sam Merrill. More George Niang. Again, shout out Iowa State. Those are good days. But I don't really like the complexion of this team off the bench against a Philadelphia team that is just firing on all cylinders. They added Nicholas Batum, who's playing big minutes and looking effective. Robert Covington can play those 16 minutes off the bench here. Even when he had to start and play 30 plus, he was looking all right. So over the course of this season, this Philadelphia team was one I just didn't know how to gauge. And, well, Joel Embiid's going to be pretty good at basketball again. So, like, maybe I should gauge it higher than I have been. That's probably why they're 10-3 against the spread. Absolute juggernauts, absolute wagons. And I want to point out something that's happening that is a new dimension to Joel Embiid's game in the absence of James Harden. It's his ability to distribute the basketball. It's really impressing me thus far in this season. In fact, you've seen 7+ assists for him in a bunch of games in a row. Again, I don't know how many because I'm not pulling up that. What I have is he is leading this team in assist rate at 31.4%. 31.4%. Yes, that is 5% higher than that of Tyrese Maxey. I did not see that coming in a million years, but it makes sense. You play through your best player in the modern NBA, like Nikola Jokic, who gets ejected. Why did he have to get ejected? Now I'm dejected. But yeah, we're going to be looking at Joel Embiid props pretty heavily here in this spot. And I'm going to call it a lean because I do expect stuff to get really, really wonky here. And he's kind of been teasing at this here a little bit lately. I'm not somebody who's like, oh, he's done this in the last couple of games. Again, that's why I don't even know how many assists he's had here in recent games. You could just simply point him out. And it's not that hard to that's not how they're setting these lines is what I'm getting at. But I want to at least point out that he's had at least 40 points plus assists and 41 points plus assists here his last two. The line's at 34.5. I thought about attacking that one, but I think we might just end up getting really, really aggressive. There are no numbers dropped for this yet, so be aware. Joel Embiid, I'm going to be paying very close attention to his triple-double odds here. I understand Cleveland's a team that you wouldn't necessarily think, because of how good they are defensively with Jared Allen and everything else, that this would be a good bet. I think it actually, I would argue it becomes better in the event that you have a slower team like this because you need those assists. You need those opportunities for Joel Embiid not to be taking the shots because he's going to get to 10 points. We are only worried about the assists in this category. So again, I want to see something better than plus 500. I'm lowballing this a little bit. I think this could end up being a very, very, very enticing little prop to take advantage of at home, starting to play phenomenal basketball. I know it's really, really early in the season, but Jokic was getting all the momentum for MVP yet again here. Joel Embiid, this is his time. This is what he does. He's going to put the hammer down here, and it only matters for assists because rebounds should be pretty close, and obviously the points are a given if he isn't getting ejected, like Jokic. Triple-double for Joel Embiid. I'm leaning on something very, very aggressive. Again, if you want the marginal one, don't just look at the graphic. Don't just look at the graphic. I think you could go to the 34.5 points plus assists and be in a pretty darn freaking good spot. Gone over in 5 of his last 6. That's so dumb. Again, that's not what matters. What matters is the rate and will it maintain? And I think it will. But I'm also going to piggyback this into 7.5 for Philadelphia. I think you could lean that direction. Maybe we just kind of take the entire portfolio and then we slam it together with Philly minus 7.5. Again, against the spread, they've been juggernauts. This seems a little bit interesting. How does Cleveland generate offense without Donovan Mitchell? Answer, not very well. Speaking of generating offense, sucking. Portland 5-8-0 against the spread, 5-7-1. Phoenix, again, these are closing lines. Sometimes you get a number that's a little bit better here or there. And Portland's a team that we successfully backed once this year against Memphis. Maybe that's the only time we fired them up until now. Yeah, it's the only time I fired them up until now. But now we're going to go half unit down this road. Let's talk through it. Phoenix, they're good. Well, they're at least freaking better than Portland. We obviously know that. And a huge misconception, and the thing that probably drives me the most berserk, is when you back a dog. Like, I end up backing Houston +8 on Monday. Everybody's like, oh, I can't believe you think Houston's going to be competitive. Well, in that case, I kind of do at +8, but I'm not betting Portland +13 because I think they're going to be competitive. I'm doing it because I think 13 is a lot of points to be laying. It doesn't mean that I like Portland. It doesn't mean that I think they're good. That is irrelevant to betting sports. If you want to do that, just back favorites every single day like I know a lot of people do and a lot of programs do. And, that's their prerogative. I'm here to make money long-term, and sometimes It's doing things that create a little bit of uncomfortability. That wasn't a word. Uncomfortability. That is the word that I was looking for. But friends, let's look at this because I'm reading the tea leaves. Malcolm Brogdon from the absolute clouds before this program gets upgraded to questionable and nobody reacted to it and none of the books reacted to that. He's the only serviceable NBA player on this team besides Jeremy Grant. Let me say that again. The only serviceable NBA player who doesn't belong in the G League on this team right now besides Jeremy Grant. Ayton, you can do without him. Shaden Sharp, no thank you. Skylar Mays, Toumani Camara, maybe one day. Matisse Thybulle offensively makes me feel pain. So I don't love this, but it's the right play. 13 points in the event that Malcolm Brogdon plays is too many. And I think you want to bet it now before it's 11.5 or 12. Again, public loves to back favorites until they get into these like 13, 14 type numbers. This is a little bit too much respect, though, considering, yes, you do have one of the generational players in Kevin Durant, Devin Booker on the other side, and Eric Gordon go completely mad, but just played a really competitive game at altitude, double overtime in Utah. I know they had a day off, but like, just saying, it's a lot of basketball. I'll take the 13-point dogs. I said I had something fun for you, and here it is, friends. Odd Shopper, we have done some really cool stuff here. We've been talking behind the scenes for months and months and months. Is this feasible? Can we have enough people watching us? Can we have enough people to be able to have a sustainable program and a sustainable environment where we can make money using our market-based approach for you in conjunction with the Discord? I've been praying, I've been begging, I've been asking and wishing and hoping for all of this to come together, and it finally has. Get this. It used to be, just for the Discord insider access, $20 a week. You are now getting $5 off of that, in addition to getting all of the OS premium tools that I rely on so heavily. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, get this. You're going to be able to get all of my plays, my personal plays, week in, week out, in the premium Discord, in addition to the tools for $5 less than it was before. So, hey, if you've been in the premium Discord, we love you. I love you. I can't say thank you enough, but we want to give you a deal, give you those tools as well as add new people to the environment. So, $14.95 weekly, $49.95 monthly. That is going to be the introductory price to get the Odd Shopper tools, the premium tools, expected value, talking you through a market-based approach. If you have questions, you can then come to the Discord Insider Access and ask me anything your heart desires. Hey, you want me to read your fortune through your palm? I don't give a shit. I want to help you make money is really what it gets down to. And I'm going to give you my access to myself in addition to saving you money on the tools and on the Discord Insider Access. So I know I was talking in circles, but I'm very excited about this new low price. We finally got to a place where it is comfortable and we can make this feasible for everybody and start sharing what we know with all of you. Excited to bring this to you. So sign up down at the link below right now. Jump in on that $14.95. It's basically like Black Friday coming on Tuesday. How does that sound, right? Good? Great? Grand? Good. And the last game of the night, you probably guessed I don't have a lock on this, but I do have another play that I really, really like. 3 likes on the card. Talked through a lot of different stuff with Joel Embiid, but there's just a couple of spots that aren't comfortable enough. And hey, it's okay to not have a lock on a 5-game slate. Again, sometimes I'll find value on a 1-game slate. I'll find nothing on a 12-game slate. That's very, very rare. That's probably never happened. But I do find this to be a very appealing game to bet from a prop perspective and from a betting perspective. Just kind of need the props and I kind of need the numbers. But based on where they've been, I think we can look at Lauri Markkanen, who has just been one of the best shooters in the entire NBA thus far. I think you know by now that I've been obsessed with what I've seen from him so far this season, shooting 49% from the field and 40% from 3. That is maintained through 115 shot attempts. I think against a team like the Lakers, again, Anthony Davis at the rim, don't really want to meet him there unless you're Domantas Sabonis for one night and one night only, because that was insane to watch. But the Lakers giving up 40.2% of their shot attempts against from 3. as you can tell, teams have skewed more towards shooting threes because 3 is worth more than 2. And if you can shoot 40% from there and 50% from 2, why wouldn't you be shooting more threes? Hey, it's just standard math. It's not that hard. Again, sometimes it's the convenience of those twos and things like that. But as I look at the board here, I think Lauri Markkanen, I'm going to be paying attention to what that 3-point prop is. It's set at 3.5 with 2.5. I mean, there's a couple of ways that this shakes out. Kind of need to see the numbers first. And if you have questions about it, as always, hit me up on X over at Eric Lindquist or the premium Discord, because again, so nice to be able to bring that to you for less than $15 a week. Anywho, the Lakers on the other side, LeBron James has been absolutely out of his gourd. He went for what, 37, 8 and 6 the other night. Absurd, ridiculous, stupid stuff that we're getting from one LeBron James here recently. And I gotta say, there's not a whole lot that's going to be changing here. He's going to be questionable leading into all these games. I completely expect him to play. So don't freak out. Don't feel like you can't bet this ahead of time. I think you're going to maybe run into one instance, maybe 2 instances all year long where LeBron James gets ruled out from the clouds. And don't forget, if you bet somebody for a prop as opposed to a spread, that's just going to get voided. The spread will never get voided. So keep that in mind when you're trying to back certain players or where you're worried about injury news. Keep that in the back of your mind. But with that being said, I think that's where I still, if I have LeBron James playing here 95% of the time, there's the 5% that you can bake into this number. And Utah +8 is a pretty wide number. Now, Utah, they're not as good of a basketball team as the Lakers are. That's not my... They're still a week away from getting Walker Kessler, who would be a very useful piece defensively against the likes of an Anthony Davis down in the post. But Anthony Davis going to just probably have his way with John Collins. There's no way around it. Lauri Markkanen, he's going to have to play big, going to knock down a lot of shots. But Taylor Horton-Tucker, going back here to LA, we finally saw signs of life from him in that Phoenix game. Didn't even play in the overtime period. 25, 4, and 3 in 29 minutes. His best game of the season by leaps and bounds. And if you can get some kind of productivity from him and Colin Sexton off the bench to add to the fray with Keontae George, who's been distributing the ball decently, not shooting worth a damn, because why would he? Didn't even do it at Baylor. But you're looking at Jordan Clarkson. He's going to be with revenge in his heart, things of that nature. And yes, this Lakers team, I don't know what to make of Cam Reddish playing as many minutes as he is tonight. 39 against Houston last time out. 39 from Cam Reddish. Is this the answer long-term? I do not think so. I think it's a Band-Aid on this team long-term. And that's where I'm saying LeBron James and Anthony Davis have been, well, LeBron for sure has been sublime. Anthony Davis, he's finding his moments. 27, 10, and 3 last time out. Just shooting 53% from the field. Only 30% from 3 this season as well. True shooting's down significantly. But LeBron James playing great. 8 is a lot to be giving me here. So I'm going to put a half unit there on this as well. Far more interested in backing some props here. I'm going to try to short a couple of pieces on the Lakers side. Yeah. Cam Reddish, 39 minutes running wind sprints and just trying hard and stuff like that. Like, this is, again, public team. 5 and 9 against the spread. Let's make it 5 and 10, please. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. You know what to do. Go to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist here on the board for Tuesday's slate. It's a nice 5-gamer. Lots of news that's going to be breaking. And obviously the big news here, the fact that we got ourselves a great opportunity for you to sign up for OddsShopper to be able to utilize the tools. Check those out for the first time. In addition to jumping into the premium Discord for only $14.95 a week. Less than $50 as well. $49.95 there for a month if you want to sign up that way. Save yourself even a little extra coin. That'd be right around, what, $12 a week. Really cool stuff. Hey, math. Good job, Eric. But anyway, hope to see you there. Glad to be sharing that news. Finally, it's a thing here at OddsShopper. Excited for that. But yeah, producer Jacob will see you tomorrow for a lot of stuff. NFL Lindy's coming down the pipeline for Thanksgiving. Let's all give thanks and bet on some football, shall we? And then the NBA Streets coming at you on Wednesday per usual. Until then, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NBA streets on Tuesday.